As we count on Cuba, Cuba can be short of the support of the entire family of ALBA-TCP for all these challenges. Now I give the floor to Sabina Orellana Cruz, Minister of Culture, Decolonization of the Plurinational State of Bolivia. So you have the floor. Thank you very much, Sacha Llorenti, Secretary General of the Peoples of our ALBA-TCP, ministers, vice ministers of the member countries. Bolivia, as a plurinational state, is the result of a long fight. The indigenous peoples. The state has created a new constitution that, despite recognizing the fundamental rights, it recognizes and it establishes the collective rights of the peoples. So in this sense, our country is established as a state that recognizes the cultures of the indigenous nations and the culture of life to live better. During 14 years, we had a task to build the plurinational state, decolonize the state with a new horizon. However, 2019, because of economic and political interest, we suffered a rupture with the coup d'etat. It's violated the human rights with discrimination against the indigenous and farmers peoples. It closed the Ministry of Culture and Tourism, so with the pretext that culture was an absurd expenditure for our country, annulling all the possibility to develop cultural policies that show the wealth and the cultural diversity in the plurinational state of Bolivia. However, the fight of our peoples didn't stop, and we recovered democracy with the vote of the Bolivian people. With that, we created the Ministry of Culture and Decolonization with a mission, with the main mission of building a new state, a decolonized state with social justice to live better. We should work in cultural changes that should be fostered from the government. The state and the society should change, focused on the well-living without discrimination. So in that sense, we have to understand the culture is a way of how we cultivate the values of a people, values that, despite taking care of the lives of humanity and the Mother Earth, are permanently updated in that dialogue and in the interchange of experience between countries and between sister nations. So we have established the actions taking care regarding preservation of the cultural inheritance of Bolivia. So with that, in this moment we have built the cooperation ties with other countries and organizations to reconfigure issues of interest which are needed and which are important for the Bolivian state, like to build a new culture for life focused on decolonization, to recover our ancestral languages, to strengthen our indigenous and farmers peoples, to build the identities, the arts and the cultural expressions as mechanisms to recover the historical memory of the peoples and to create new societies with solidarity to strengthen communication strategies between our peoples, to strengthen our ways and procedures to protect and to preserve the cultural inheritance in the Bolivian state, to build mechanisms of international relations in the framework of the diplomacy of our peoples. Brothers, ministers of ALBA-TCP, we, as a Minister of Culture, we've always be at your disposal to coordinate, to have a dialogue, to build a culture of peace, a culture of dialogue, a culture of life, which is more important. So in that sense, we'll always be at the disposal of the Secretary General of ALBA-TCP to build cultural public policies to our peoples and to build the motherland. Ministers, summing up, thank you very much. Sacha will be at your disposal. To finish, please, I want to say Hayaya, ALBA-TCP Hayaya, the indigenous peoples, Hayaya, decolonization,